In the column entitled Financial Rewards for Other Uses of the Human Body, is that long column on the left, that is completely logos. I mean, there's some pathos going on in there too, and we'll talk about it. But this is where she really hits hard with her logos. This is where she makes the comparisons between donating an organ and other medical practices for which people get paid. So for other donations, bodily donations. She starts with the least comparable. She starts with the donating of blood, sperm, and hair. Something that is really not very invasive, blood a little bit, but sperm is not invasive, hair is not invasive, and these are all things that we make more of, that the human body can make more of. So it's not as severe of, going in and cutting someone open and taking out an organ. So she's saying the comparison's not quite that strong, but it is still selling of parts of your body. And so she makes this comparison, and she knows it's the weakest comparison she has, but she starts with something that is done quite often and that people accept readily as something people should be paid for. Okay, so that's her first comparison. And you'll be thinking, why is she making comparisons? Comparison is a great way to get people to understand something and to accept something. And so oftentimes what you'll do is you'll compare what you want them to accept or believe with something that they already do accept or believe, and show how they're based on the same principle. They are somehow fundamentally the same. There's another thing you can do, which is where you compare something you don't want them to agree with something you also know that they do not already agree with, and she's going to do that later, and we'll talk about it. Okay, so the first one she does is her least comparable, and then she moves on to something that is a little bit stronger of a comparison. She moves on to human eggs and the fact that women get paid for selling their eggs. And she's saying that now this is an invasive procedure. And she says egg donation requires both prolonged hormonal manipulation and an invasive procedure, so has traditionally appealed only to emotionally or genetically related donors or women in financial need, such as university students. Okay, so what she's saying here is that this is a lot closer to donating an organ because it is invasive. They do go through hormone therapy, and there are more risks involved. And she even says they are rarely fully educated about the risks, such as ovarian hyperstimulation, ovarian cancer, and future infertility. So she's saying there's also these medical risks involved. So it's a great comparison.